Elton John, the rise, fall, and reinvention of a global legend. Elton John's story is not just about fame. It's about talent, chaos, pain, transformation, and one of the greatest comebacks in music history. Our story begins in the suburbs of London, where a young boy named Reginald Dwight discovered something extraordinary. He could play anything he heard, perfectly, on the piano. At just 3 years old, his musical gift was undeniable. By 11, he earned a scholarship to the Royal Academy of Music. But despite his talent, Reginald felt out of place. He dreamed not of classical stages, but of rock and roll. He changed his name to Elton John, inspired by 2 musicians he admired. And with Bernie Taupin, a lyricist he had never even met in person at first, he formed one of the greatest songwriting partnerships of all time. Then came the explosion. In 1970, Elton sat at a piano in Los Angeles, performed your song, and from that day forward, the world would never look at him the same way again. The 1970s belonged to Elton John. He became a superstar unlike anything the world had ever seen. The outfits, the glasses, the rocket-powered energy, the stadiums filled with people who came not just to hear music, but to witness a spectacle. Hits poured out one after another: Rocket Man, Benny and the Jets, Crocodile Rock, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. His concerts became events of myth. Fans didn't just listen, they believed. But behind the applause, Elton was sinking deeper into a world of pressure, isolation, and addiction. Despite selling millions of records, he felt increasingly alone. His private struggles spiraled until his life was in danger. Then, in a moment that would define his future, Elton sought help. He rebuilt himself piece by piece, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And like a phoenix rising from the ashes, he came back stronger. The 1990s brought new triumphs. Candle in the Wind. 1997, rewritten in honor of Princess Diana, became the best-selling single in history. He composed music for The Lion King, earning awards and touching a new generation. Elton evolved, but he never slowed down. He became an outspoken advocate for human rights, raised hundreds of millions for AIDS research, and continued to tour the world with the same fire he had in his youth. Decades into his career, the Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour became one of the highest-grossing tours of all time. Proof that the world still can't get enough of him. Today, Elton John stands as one of the most influential, beloved, and timeless artists ever to walk the earth. His story is a reminder that greatness is not born of perfection, but of passion, struggle, and the courage to begin again. Elton John didn't just survive, he didn't just succeed, he transformed himself, and in the process transformed music forever. A legend, a survivor, a masterpiece of reinvention.